Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is February 12th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery here. You can see BC, Washington, Oregon. You can see the clouds on the increase here across BC, Washington, Oregon. As we go through the day today, you're definitely going to notice that if you're out and about. Lots of cold air spilling out over the Gulf of Alaska here. That's going to slam into the Pacific Northwest tomorrow and on into Tuesday. Big pattern change, lots of mountain snows. We'll check out the other details associated with this system as well. And also stay tuned for the extended forecast towards the end of the video. Looks like we're going to have another couple rounds of cold air potentially as we go through the month of February. Now, taking a look here, you can see National Weather Service Portland. You can see all the big snowfall here across the Cascades of Washington, Oregon. Winter storm watches all the way out to the coastal regions here too as well. And we have some lowland snowfall possibility with this system coming up here. You can see the timing of this system as we go, and of course the impacts across the region there. This is down for Medford, Oregon. Again, the big snowfall across the Cascades here, including some areas across I-5 here. You can see Sexton Mountain. There's Siskiyou Summit, 2 to 5 inches there as well. So heads up for this system rolling down through the area as we go on in through the day Tuesday. Snow levels are going to be crashing down pretty low with this system here as we go through the day Tuesday. Now, taking a look here, Pendleton, Oregon, talking about winter storm watches in effect, winter weather advisories in effect for some of the northern Blue Mountains there. You can see big snowfall chances coming up here as we go through the day tomorrow and Sunday here with some gusty winds as well. Now, taking a look here, you can see this is for Missoula, Montana, Idaho Panhandle, western Montana. Snow will be crashing down here, and impacts will be felt across this area here as well on in through Tuesday. This is National Weather Service Spokane calling for some gusts for the higher terrain. Nothing too crazy here, especially for the lowlands here, but just have a heads up for that as we go through the day, Monday especially. Now, looking at this is 700 millibars, 10,000 feet. What is coming here? We've been talking about this for a few days now, and you can see that cold air here just launch across the Gulf of Alaska and just really carve a nice trough out here across Pacific Northwest as we go through the day Tuesday, shown there. Now, a little bit closer look, 500 millibars, 18,000 foot temperatures. Look at this batch of cold air back here, just kind of really bullseyes the Pacific Northwest as shown here by Tuesday morning there. Now you can imagine with all this cold air out here, there must be a tight pressure gradient here, and you'll see that here in the jet stream as you see the trough carving out across the Gulf of Alaska. Powerful winds, probably towards 200 miles per hour at 30,000 feet, really driving down on the coast of BC and Washington out of the northwest here. You can see look at 183 knots. It's right around 200 miles per hour there. Impressive troughing right off our doorstep here. Now this is like a precipitable water anomaly here, and you can see as this air mass change comes, you see that frontal system move down across the region here. Now as I keep this going into motion, notice little subtle feature here, move across western Washington on the European there. That's probably the best chance for some lowland snowfall here. We're starting to get into Monday night, Tuesday morning. By that point, things will cool down a little bit more. Lots of cold air aloft arriving here with this little feature. More on that here in a moment. Now, taking a look at the European, this is looking at the sea level pressure map here. You see that strong low move across Canada there, and I put that into motion here. And did you see it? Or did you blink and miss it? That little feature here, this little tiny low pressure system there, and this general troughing here is probably going to be the best timing here for some snowfall down to the lower elevations as we go on in through late Monday night into Tuesday morning, shown there. Now, looking at the NAM3KM, we're going to look for that same feature here. As we go on in through Monday night, Tuesday morning, there it goes right here. Southwest Washington coast, Northwest Oregon coastline there. So you can see the little bit of differences in the position of that, this little low pressure system here. More on that here in a moment. We got some more models to look at. Taking a look at the HER 3-kilometer run, put it into motion, and you can see that little feature right there and the kind of general troughing over western Washington, western Oregon, and southwest BC as we go on in through Tuesday morning. Now taking a look here, this is the high resolution Canadian model here. And you can see, I like it that the models are kind of been able to pick up on these little subtle features here as we go through Tuesday morning. You see that general troughing over western Washington shown there. So what does that mean? Now we're looking at the European here on the left versus the European 100-meter wind speed here on the right. Put that into motion. Now we're going into Tuesday morning here. And you can see some convergent zone activity going on across the sound here, shown by the precipitation map there. It could be mixing in some snow at this point down to the lower elevations here. And then you see that feature kind of move over top here, and you can see this turns more to snow here across the I-5 corridor all the way down towards the Willamette Valley here. But we're still getting these kind of southerlies here at the surface, meeting up with some northwesterly flow through the Strait of Georgia and a little bit of westerly flow moving through the Strait of Juan de Fuca here. But then you'll see these winds start to turn northerly down the Puget Sound here, and there's still some snow left around there. And that's when we could bring a little bit of snowfall down towards sea level here. Again, probably not a big snowfall maker for the roadways like I-5 and whatnot, but this could coat some of the back streets here across some of the Puget Sound. You can't rule out an inch or two from this system here as we go on in through Tuesday morning. And you can see that it does include places down like to the Willamette Valley here as well. And you can kind of see the wind shift take over across the area here, and the northerly start to move down across all the way through Oregon here as this system moves out and down to the southeast, shown there. Now taking a look at total snow-to-chair ratio here, European model, last night's run. Put that into motion. You can kind of see the little flirtation here across some of the Puget Sound here, and a little bit better amounts towards Longview, Washington, down towards Portland, shown here. But again, this is probably not going to be sticking on I-5 if I had to bet. It's probably going to be more grassy surfaces, rooftops and cars, for example. Now taking a look at here, this is a high-resolution Canadian model here. Put this into motion, and you can see some of these convergence zone bands here. So you're probably going to see some snow flying across some of the Puget Sound here as we go through Monday night. And it even shows, 2 inches there for SeaTac in that narrow band of convergence there. Keep going, and you can see some of that snowfall across some of the Willamette Valley even showing up there in the Canadian high-resolution model. But you can see kind of the hit-and-miss nature of this system as it comes through. Some of you just might see some flakes flying. Some of you guys might see it sticking on some of the grassy surfaces or, again, the bark, rooftops, cars, etc. Now taking a look here at the UW model here. Let me update this, make sure we have the most recent information. This was run at 12Z here. You can see the initialization time there. So as we go on in through the day, on in through very early Monday morning, see that precipitation starting to arrive. The mountain snow is going on by Monday morning. A lot of mountain snow incoming here, folks. And now as you go on into Monday afternoon, you can see some of the mixing in with some snow here across the Puget Sound, maybe the Willamette Valley as you go on in through Monday night. And then there's that little feature we were talking about there, that little low pressure system here. There might be a deformation band on the north side of that where there's some residual moisture left over, and you start to get these northerlies down the Puget Sound, the I-5 corridor, where you could bring that snow level down even a little bit further here across the region. And you can see a lot of this is showing up as snowfall all the way down through Oregon as well as you go on in through the day Tuesday. And you can see the system slide down and out of our region here by the time we go on into Wednesday. Now, this is looking at the 4-kilometer high-resolution model here from the UW. Put this into motion. Big mountain snows come first, and then the potential. Look at this. It's showing some measurable snowfall down through the I-5 corridor here, all the way down through Willamette Valley up towards Longview, Washington as well. So this is for Oregon here. And now the coastal range as well. Look at this. That's up to over a foot for some of these areas here. So watch out for travel back and forth on some of the passes here through the coastal range out there in Oregon. But big snowfall totals across the Cascades coming in here on the day Tuesday especially. Now this is Western Washington, same map here. We put this into motion. You see the big mountain snow start as you go through the day Monday. And you can see how it picks up the terrain features quite nicely here on the 4-kilometer run there. But then you see some of this convergent zone activity starting to hang around the Puget Sound here and kind of bullseyeing some of the areas here, hit and miss nature of this event shown on the UW model here as well. Now taking a look here, this is the European. This is Monday afternoon. You can see we do have some lightning potential here with some of this convergent zone activity and some of the heavier showers as this system moves through. Now, taking a look at this a little more detail here, I want to show you a subtle little feature, and we're getting into the weeds here a little bit, but I want to show you something that sometimes happens with these storm systems here. So we got surface CAPE, convective available potential energy on the right here versus the winds on the left. So basically you can see the convergent zone activity kind of setting up across the Puget Sound, and we have some instability in the atmosphere here as we go on in through the day Monday. And you can clearly see that around the Puget Sound shown here. Westerlies are going down the Strait of Juan de Fuca, Chehalis Gap here. You get the winds meeting across the central Puget Sound here, and we've got some decent CAPE values as we go. Now watch what happens as we go on into Monday evening here. You can see some pretty good CAPE values going on through the day here. We continue on in through Tuesday morning here, and I want to show you what's going on here. So I've seen lightning and thunder snow actually happen in this scenario. You can see there's still a little bit of CAPE around, but you can see the southerly winds coming up the sound here. And they start to meet with the northerlies here, and you can see a little bit of instability still around here with this northerly push down the sound. And I've seen this actually create some thunder snow down through the Puget Sound here more than once in my lifetime, actually. So kind of an interesting feature that's kind of showing up there that you're probably not going to see many people talk about at all. Now taking a look here, this is the composite reflectivity of the same model here. We're going to go all the way into Tuesday morning here, and you can see, actually let's do Monday afternoon first. You can see some of these bands of convergence going on across the afternoon Monday into Monday night, but you can see a little bit of residual activity here as you go into Tuesday morning here would be in the form of snow, and if you get some convergence strong enough across this zone here, you could bring a lightning strike and some thunder snow down with that as well. Now taking a look here, I want to show you what temperatures are coming up here. 6 hour, 2 meter minimum temperatures here. Now we're going to go into Monday morning shown here. You can see we're up into the 40s here across a lot of the western Washington, western Oregon here. By the time we get to Tuesday morning, look at things really cool down here, and we're probably going to be below freezing for many areas across western Washington, western Oregon, except maybe the immediate Oregon and Washington coastline shown there. And then on through Wednesday morning, check it out. Some temperatures down into the mid-20s here for the Willamette Valley, even up towards the Puget Sound. As you can see here, a little bit warmer because the effects of the Puget Sound here across the San Juans and Whidbey Island, and of course along the immediate coastline there. On in through Thursday morning, again, a pretty chilly overnight low here coming up here for many of the areas, mid-20s, Willamette Valley, some 20s around the Puget Sound as well. And then we go into Friday here. Warm up a little bit there going into Saturday. There it's still pretty chilly overnight lows going on there. But as we get on to the weekend here, we start to warm up a little bit. Now we're going to take a look at the extended forecast here. This is last night's European run. This goes out 360 hours. You can see the system driving down across the region here, kind of a nicely well-placed polar lobe as we've been talking about there. Get a bit of ridging here, then another system kind of gets cut off here along the west coast. But then through the extended here, you can kind of see we have this ridging out over the Pacific here. We bring some northerly flow here, and this kind of continues here with this cat and mouse game between these polar troughs here, or these polar lobes, and this ridge here out over the Pacific Ocean here as we're flirting with cold air again out towards the end of February there. And you can see these multiple rounds of polar lobes trying to move down through the area shown there. So let's see what the GFS has to say about that as well. This is the 12Z run hot off the presses. In fact, let's update this to make sure all the most recent data is in here. We'll put this into motion here, and you can see the system impacting us as we go on in through Monday and Tuesday shown there. A little bit of a break here with some ridging, then that system gets cut off here off the California coastline there. But we've got this ridging out here still, and we're still getting kind of this north flow at times through the extended forecast. And if we go out a little bit further here towards the 21st of February, 22nd, 23rd, you can see this ridging out here and this cold air is still moving down across the region here. Now, as we get later into February, it gets more difficult to bring lowland snow across the region here. The sun's rays start getting a bit stronger. Things are warming up by this time of year a little bit here, but you can see this continued bombardment here, especially in the GFS towards the extended portions of its run here with continues us flirting with some colder air here across Pacific Northwest. So this just something off in Fantasyland right now. It's just something for us to watch and kind of enjoy and see how it plays out here over the next few days. This is taking a look at the Pacific Northwest. This is snow water equivalent here. You can see a lot of the Cascades are actually a little bit below normal here. The green is closer to normal here, between 90 and 110%. The yellow is between 70 and 90% here. And there's not much across the Oregon coastal range here, but that's going to change here as we go on in through the day Tuesday. And you can see some areas are a little bit above average there as well. But you can see here, we're going to help add to these totals here with the system coming in here. So maybe we can put us closer towards average or across Pacific Northwest, but not doing too extremely bad across the region, as you can see here. So anyway, yeah, I may do a live stream tonight, depending on what the models look like here as we go through the day today. So that would probably be this evening. It'll probably be after the Super Bowl here, give you a chance to watch that, and then maybe do a live stream later on and talk about what's going on here, what's coming up. Take a look at the extended forecast as well, do a Q&A, answer any questions you might have. But anyway, I am working on my next windstorm series as we speak. I am working on ENSO, La Nina, and El Nino conditions along the west coast of North America video also. I've got that about 80% done as well. That's coming out here probably in the next week or two also. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Hopefully you'll get a little bit of snowfall, but not too much to ruin your day here on and through the day. Monday night into Tuesday morning. But anyway, so maybe I'll talk to you guys tonight during the live stream. If not, I will talk to you guys tomorrow in my normal briefing. And I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll talk to you guys then.